to another episode of Where I'm From Podcast with your girl B.MARIE. This is the juicy part 2 of the episode that we talked about last week's video about the child-parent dynamic growing up in certain types of lifestyles. But before we get to the episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted every time a wonderful new episode comes out. And let's just jump right on in. So we left off of episode 1 where we started talking about our life in women's transitional housing, where I was able to get custody back of you. First, I want to just tell a little joke. So I went to New Jersey. Well, I was in Newark. So I went down to Atlantic City area where you were staying at with my dad, with Pop-Up. Y'all see him on my Instagram. Shout out to Pop-Up. We love him. And I went back down there, went to court. He signed over custody papers. And you remember how fast he pulled it off? Like, yo, he drove us back to Newark in that fucking Jeep outside, I think. Pulled up in front of Integrity House. It's in front of the apartment that we lived in. And pulled up, went to the bathroom and left. Deuces.
He had the Camaro.
Oh, we drove back in the Camaro. Okay. But he could not get out of there fast enough. And I do remember that's when life started to change a lot for us. And, at that time, I still was programmed to feel like I had to be in a relationship, or like finding a person was like part of what had to be my history, my story. Listen, it is okay. It is excellent to be in partnerships, to be connected to people, to be married, to be engaged, to be in relationships, if they are healthy. Oh, I'm making you fall asleep. If they are healthy relationships. If they're not, then it is okay to be by yourself and just learn yourself, be with your family. You could fill your times with hobbies, activities, your career, your family, friendships, activities like that. You could fill your life with those things. It doesn't always have to be a partner relationship where you're intimate, with that person. Mm. And that's fine too. So, but at that time I still was programmed to think that. So I started to attract like a different type of guy. So, cause I thought in my mind, like I had to find me a square dude, somebody who wasn't a hustler, a drug dealer, somebody who was different from the norm.
Trust me, he was different from the norm.
So I went all the way to the other side. Like, got me a real square, honey.
Oh, but one thing I'll say is I'm a square, but he a different type of square.
Yeah, so we had actually met in Integrity House. He wasn't really fond of me too much at first, because I guess he low-key really liked me. Probably didn't know how to deal with it. So asked me out on a date. We started talking. He was a really nice guy. The thing about him was he wasn't like assertive, whatever, but this is not a conversation about him. Right. We just didn't work. We weren't the right type of partnership for each other. So we ended up deciding to, I decided to move on, but then found myself.
He was also homophobic, so it was never going to work out.
Yeah, he was homophobic and we're not. And that definitely was never going to work out. That was definitely one of the factors where I decided like I didn't want to be with this person. Mm-hmm. He just wasn't like, I need a certain type of guy to handle.
Yeah, he couldn't handle it. And he couldn't handle it so much he started to spiral.
Yeah, so he ended up being a stalker, put us through a lot of, traumatic energy to where we had to move. So that was pretty.
I wouldn't say had to move. I would say we were afforded the opportunity to move.
Yeah, we were afforded the opportunity to move. At that time, I had met Coach, and then we had decided to be in a relationship together, and we ended up down here in Georgia, and that's how we started off here.
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. After, because I know for me, like in my relationships, it's like after one relationship failed, there was that trauma from it. Did you not feel that before, like, you got with Coach, from the trauma with your relationship with Gerald?
So I would say Yes, but the way that I thought, which is not for me in my perspective now, in my experience, is not healthy. So I had an unhealthy way of dealing with it. So I thought by like trying to fill the void of not having a man is like get another relationship. Yeah, and like a distraction, somebody, and also like when Coach came in, he filled needs. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was a friend to me during that time when Gerald was doing that stalking stuff at my job, and like he was like, you know, talking to me through it. He helped me pack up all my stuff and so I could move. Like, yes, he definitely jumped on an opportunity. He definitely jumped on an opportunity, but I chose that. So, all right. So how does that affect you as a child and like watching your parent go through like many different relationships that were not healthy?
One, I mean, okay, this is crazy, but I've never had no like.
I don't know what to think, y'all.
No, it's not crazy. I think that like ultimately for me it was just like, and you want me to be rough, Frank?
Yeah, like damn, bitch, get it.
Like damn, girl, you always need a man. Always need a man. It's what we need. Is that what we need right now? And so like to me growing up, that's just always what I see. And I feel like, you know, and maybe, you know, that type of energy is kind of like how I felt all throughout your relationship with Coach, was just like, you know, I understand and I'm real grateful, but it's also just like, I do see the turmoil and the pain because yes, there were good times, but there were also bad times. And it's like,
yeah,
like you cannot ignore, like, I think that, you know, the good times are good times and we have to let that soak in. But the thing about it is we shouldn't like accept that there will always be good and bad times. Because I mean, quite frankly, in my relationship, there are no good and bad times. There are good times and then there are times where we may struggle, but there's not like to the point to where we're breaking each other down. And
yeah, so that's what I meant when I said earlier that your generation like has surpassed like my generation in this family.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear. It wasn't like 1,000 people.
No.
No, for myself now because my vulnerability is coming up.
I've only ever known you to have long-term relationships.
Love, Gerald.
But it's always been, but I mean, Coach. I've only been alive for 23 years and all of my 23 years I have known
22 years.
I guess.
You gotta give me my year that I've been doing this thing by myself now.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes.
So yes. 22.
Okay.
And now, yes, and I've expressed that in other videos. Like, since 15, 16 years old, I've always been in a relationship.
And that's fair.
You know what I mean? Whether it was long-term or I would have some type of situationship like Q, where I knew I was going to jail and I had to lasso me one on in before I went there, you know.
Now, that
put money on the books.
That one I can understand.
But that one was toxic as hell. He was a drug dealer. Like, and he would have... Yeah, but I don't know. Like,
at one point or another,
they were. Coach was too when he was younger.
I mean, you kind of went through a gradient. You went like, I'm a drug
Gerald
dealer.
wasn't. That's why I thought Gerald was gonna work out.
He just did drugs.
Yeah, he just did drugs.
It seemed like it. Because child, at the end, he was giving real feed, real junkie, like.
But he wasn't using while we was together. Never. No. I never been around him when he was using.
But I knew something was wrong with that man. Especially when he would come down there and be like, "Why are you laying like that? Why the fuck is you talking to me like that?"
Yes.
I don't know. I've always had the energy of like, even if it was my, I don't know, like men have to earn my respect for some reason. Like men are just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not a good track record for me for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And that's even before all the crazy drama that I had as a teenager. Like before men just like that energy, that vibe. You know, kids has a lot of energy, a lot of vibes. They just, ooh.
So one of our most challenging times that I really like reflect on is the teenage years. Because I still was like a whole child in my emotional growth.
We was crazy.
Yeah, like teenage girls. fighting all the time. Like, this what you hate me? What you hate me? What you hate me? Like, we can laugh about it now, but like when you in that time, like you really don't think, and this is the part that I really want to express to give hope. When you're in that time, for me, you really don't think there's ever gonna be anything else but this. Like, I really felt like it wasn't gonna be nothing else but this. But look at us now, like, we besties.
Before we were besties, but we were like frenemies.
Like toxic sisters.
Like, I love you, but I hate you. Like,
You used to be my twin. You're not my twin no more. It's just like,
I'm not twin.
I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think D's still my twin. But y'all don't know what D dad looked like. That picture I posted on Instagram though, where it's you and me, is me and him, and then you and then me, him, and then your baby picture, like where you come
sonogram.
From. That old ass sonogram.
23 years.
That old ass
Almost
sonogram.
24. Well, actually, it would be 24 years because you had to get it 9 months.
Yeah. So we went through that phase.
You got it kind of like 7 months before. No.
I don't even remember when it was.
I was 10 months, right?
I was pregnant all the way until 10 months.
But you found out in 3 months.
Late. Yes, I did. Sorry. He might got some. We're not gonna make a joke, but
y'all better not say no shit about this. That's all I gotta say. Everybody always got something to say. Oh, you didn't know she was pregnant?
No, I didn't know I was pregnant. I still had periods, and then
And at that point, I don't see why you would think you would be pregnant.
I didn't know I was pregnant until some shrimp made me sick. And then my friend at the time, Jackie, was saying, Alicia, mom was saying to get a pregnancy test, and I got a pregnancy test and I was pregnant. And then that was all she wrote on that. I said, you know what? Me and my baby on my head gonna make this life do what it do. And you know, at the time I was doing the best of what I knew, and fortunately when I was introduced to other shit, I chose that way because that was, you know, what was able to have places for all of us to land during very trying times of our life. I was able to have a comfortable home when Coach died. You was able to you're able to have a home to come back to whenever you need to. Pop, you know, has a home. Everybody feels safe, and I'm truly grateful. But it definitely was a long road to get here.
Yes.
Definitely was a long road to get here. A lot of trials and tribulations to get here. I'm super grateful for where we are. I'm not in a relationship now. And when you was asking me like questions, sometimes like if I'm a date again or whatever, I remember I was like, dang, you've been trying to get me to be single your whole life. Like, back up off me.
Well, the thing about it is it's like, I don't know. Like, I want you to be there for Mr. Right.
I'm Mr. Right.
You are Mr. Right.
I'm Mr. Right. Shout out to my videographer, Bilal. When you're watching this video, said to me that I was a strong person, that when I am ready to date again, that I will have to know that I'm a super independent person with all my shit together, and that I would have to make space for a man to feel needed.
They be like that, hey.
For a man to feel needed. When I feel like I want to make a man feel needed, then I'll let y'all know. Right now, I just want to make myself feel needed and just do what I want. I don't want to make no decisions with nobody. That's it. I just want to make my own decisions right now. Because I'm just giving myself time. I don't know how long. I don't know if it's forever. I don't have a time or even an idea of a time. You know what I mean? To where I want to share my space and time with anybody doing that. I just want to focus on all of us and like what we got going on. So definitely the teenage years.
Hey, I'm not. Listen, if you want to focus on me, I'm not trying to.
This is also what you have to look forward to when you have an adult child that's like under 25. They still very much appreciate you helping them a little bit. Mm-hmm. Taking care of some stuff. So definitely moved into the teenage years with a lot of toxicity around you with my relationship and just the way I was emotionally handling things. You trying to figure out who you were in this world, start making your mark on this world. And that was a difficult time. So when you went, and also I parented a lot with financial still, not to this day, like now I do stuff, but I feel like it's appreciated, this and that. But I overcompensated a lot during that time, and I made our relationship more of financial transactions because there wasn't any respect really between you and I at that time. And you were living in a time where I still was struggling with people pleasing, thinking that I can just throw some money at it, make that shit go away, make you like me because I thought you didn't like me. You know what I mean? And ultimately, I take a lot of accountability for how you behaved or reacted towards stuff because a lot of it was reactions. Also, I raised you. So it's like my toxic behaviors and emotional stunt, whatever, not emotional, but like lack of emotional intelligence, all of that stuff poured over into how I was raising you. So it's like, what did I expect? You know what I mean? But I don't see that until now. Definitely can't see that until the last 2-3 years. Because when you went to college, then we disconnected ourselves from each other in, a toxic way, but it worked out because we definitely needed.
Toxic.
Well, we fought and then split up, separated ourselves.
That's not toxic.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Let me tell you why I think it's not toxic. I think that we had to have the catalyst to move us apart.
The explosion.
Basically.
Yeah.
And ours, fortunately, was not as severe as it can be.
Yeah.
So it's I take my signs as quickly as they come. I take my signs as quickly as they come. Okay, I
can agree with that.
So as soon as that was that, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do what I do. You're gonna do what you do, and then we were still kind of connected. You were really on the fence about things, just really surface level type stuff. And it is what it is. Until we got to you being in the iCloud family and
not even knowing what the fuck I was talking about. I thought Deandre,
I had invited a friend
being a whole child
to get the storage. I had the 2 terabytes in the family
that you were paying for, but I thought I was paying for it because we was on the phone bill.
And you were like, who is it? And it was that phone, and I was just like, you know what? And then you were like, get your own phone bill, and I was like, okay, I'll do what I do, and I went to Verizon and had to do what I had to do. But I think that time of us being apart, it was summer. It was going into a summertime. I was real isolated. My friends were leaving, so I was at college just alone, just chilling, doing what I do, and I was really just growing spiritually as a person, and learning more about myself and about the different things that I've gone through and how to heal those different things. Well, if I say it publicly, nobody can really bring it out against me. I mean, I did my psychedelic drugs, did my LSD, my acid. They are the same thing if people don't know. My shrooms, my DMT, I did those things. And, they told me a lot of things about myself. I've learned a lot of things about myself. And throughout that time, I was able to grow and see different perspectives and see my perspective, your perspective, but also the in-between, and that perspective is the way forward.
Yeah. You also, when we did get back connected, you shared a lot of that stuff with me that actually taught me and just inspired me to look at things in a different way. Like even the other day, checking me for still, because nobody perfect. This shit still comes up sometimes. Now, I still was acting like a child in my response to things. Like if I felt like you wasn't doing something for me when I asked my spoiled days. So just always, being intentional with making sure that we continue to move forward.
Yeah, and one thing I had to learn is that in relationships, especially relationships that you care about, discourse is needed, because as you get to learn a person that you love, you also need to learn all their different parts and how they want to be loved and different things like that. And sometimes you may not agree with how they want to be loved, but you gotta compromise where you can, and when you can't, well, girl, I don't know. But I think that it's really understanding that I had to understand as a child that my mom is a human as well. And I think that as a teenager, we all say some real nasty things, and I can't think of anything specific, but not to say that I didn't, but I know I've said things probably where but I'm pretty sure there's some things I can't say I've never done. I've never put my hands on you.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I've never said I hate you, I don't think. I don't think I've ever said that. I think those are the two worst things I think.
So what I would say is that, like you had mentioned one time,
and I never plotted to kill.
Something about a disappointment. Like I don't remember what conversation. Nah, baby, you never disappointed me. Remember I don't remember what it was. The thing. I never felt disappointed. I always just felt like we had so much negative energy between us. Just by the way that we were communicating and just like how I was showing up, like in my, ways that I was handling things or whatever, or dealing with stuff, and the choices that I was making to stay in a relationship that I was in, and like it was causing me a lot of pain. So I feel like during that time, like you were just having a lot of reactions. And then once like you shifted first, and then like once I like really, really shifted and aligned myself with that, we were able to continue to move forward. Because like everybody's not going to always get along, like you said, like you have discourse, but finding healthier ways to like handle conflict, or if you have some type of interaction, talking about it instead of arguing and like having like a lot of blow ups and things like that, like we used to have. What else? Let me think. So pretty much like that's basically it, and now we're here.
Well, before that we get there, I will say that we had one little hiccup in between that, and I will say I think that.
When was that? The other day?
No.
Oh, that was saying that I thought you meant the other day when you had to tell me like I still am reacting.
I will say that I have thought about this, and I will say I do feel some type of way that I was not there for you when you had cancer. I will say that, and I'm so sorry. I think that my emotions were very clouded, but that came from the value that I have of that no matter who you are, like you do not, me as a person, we're not going to just disrespect, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And like nobody wants to feel disrespected, and I think that in that moment I felt disrespected, and I immediately went to a defense of I need to retreat again. I don't feel safe in this relationship and I need to back off. So
what I will say to you is yes, it did hurt me, like, at certain points when I thought about it or whatever. However, the way that I dealt with that is basically that, like we had a relationship at the time where we had separation, and that wasn't dealt with. So there was space for that. But also when Pop-Pop had cancer, I wasn't there for him because I was caught up in the street. I told you that before, right? When he had prostate cancer, I wasn't there for him. And stuff like that? Yeah, he came and told me and Chris, and I wasn't there for him either because I was still out in a lifestyle.
Go around really do come around.
I know, it's like our life is super crazy spiritual.
I mean, I knew that, but like, damn, I didn't know it was like that direct.
Like, it's like repeated stuff. And
that's hella direct. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, like it is. Like, so The reason why is because I was outside, and at that time I had so many negative feelings for Pop at that time, like abandonment, resentment, things that I hadn't worked through yet. And I did the same thing. Like I kept myself away from him, and just kept doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I agree with your perspective. At the same time, it also does hurt. You know what I mean? So both of them can be true at the same time. And having understanding that, things aren't always going to look like how you're programmed to think. Because I always felt like, dang, even not just with that situation, like I'm your mom. So we're programmed, my generation is programmed like you're supposed to fuck with your mom. Like your mom could be a heroin addict or whatever, crackhead. That's your mom.
And that's fair. And I come from the generation.
Yeah.
That's my mom, but my mom is also if my mom wants me to be there for her, that my mom got to act right. And that doesn't mean like do shit for me. That just means like, mutual respect and, respecting what I value and I respect what you value, or at least try to, if I know.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
And I didn't reach out to you except when I was about to have surgery. So it wasn't like I was calling you, telling you about any part of the process. Because I was like, fuck it. If you want to know, you'll reach out to me. So a lot of like immature behavior going on at the time, us not dealing with stuff. So, maybe not immature. I don't know what to call it, but just, just whatever actions were being taken on both parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I got through it. You've been super supportive of me over the last couple years. So I might need these a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel like crying, but so leading up to today, to present day, you have done, so we're going to leave off on a positive note, right? And this right here is actually happening organically because I wasn't really thinking about this part, but so we have had a long journey thus far. I'm 42 years old. You're 23. I have went to college. I got custody back of you. First triumph. Went to college. I kept custody of you. Had few little hiccups along the way. Lost custody of you again, and then got it back. So that was second triumph. In Integrity House, completed that. Learned a lot during my time incarcerated, and then the halfway house in the women's transitional housing, and really raised myself up to be not just some ghetto ass bite bitch, gangster from the fucking hood. Like, I did grow up in a house, but definitely outside the doors was everything other, and even a lot of toxicity growing up in the house that I was in, even though it was a stable housing situation, like house, food, stuff like that. So definitely learned a lot in Integrity House. Because I'm always clear. Like I didn't live in the projects. Like I never want to portray like, I mean, I didn't get to eat none of that. That wasn't part of my story. But however, I did experience a lot of other things that have to do with inner city life, and because of the decisions that I was making. And
also you lived in the inner city.
And then also like in the house, I wasn't being taught like structure. Like honestly, no disrespect to Papa, but like I learned a lot about life now that he's here with me here. It's like it reverted us back to when we were a child. Like even when I went to see Wicked with him, it was like such a great experience because we talk a lot more now. Like growing up, he was so caught up in like the lifestyle of making sure the bills was paid and like, you know what I mean?
Now he don't got to worry about
going to work, going to sleep. Yeah, he talks, he educates me a lot. Like this time around, we've actually had conversations about relationships and men, and like never did we do that. Growing up, like people weren't sitting me down talking about that. I didn't have that type of upbringing. It's like I really truly had to learn a lot. I want to say everything, a lot on my own, or what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with Coach's suicide, like I take a look at a lot of what he did in life that a lot of what he did that I do now. and a lot of what he did that I'm not gonna do.
Yeah.
And that's living in my authentic self. So, you know, we've definitely grown into a person, went to cosmetology school, and we're here, business owner for over 10 years, been in the cosmetology industry for over 15, like a long time, 15, 16 years. I don't even know how long time, since 2010, long time. And got a business degree in college, started a podcast, did all of this great stuff. Also managed to raise a kid that stayed alive since 23. Definitely dropped you on your head once or twice.
Really? You can tell the truth.
Only once.
Really?
But you did stuff like pulling the TV down.
I did crazy things. Like for when I was a child, I would pull the big gray TVs, the little Sterling
You put an iron
TV.
mark in the floor. But we're not going to talk about that. So, no, only one time you were sitting in the car seat on the couch and flipped over. But you still was in the car seat. But you was okay. That ain't got nothing on me being pregnant for 3 months and not knowing about it.
Yeah, that shit's kind of crazy.
You came out a genius, though. No problems with that.
Glad I didn't get FAS.
I know, me too. Because I definitely was drinking at that time.
Child.
Yeah, so me too. But as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I went and got a job at Taj Mahal. I really was trying to do right.
Period.
I went and got a job as a cashier. I worked it my whole pregnancy. Did you know that?
Yeah, and then you asked the lady to watch your spot one night, and then she had the nerve to be shady, and that's how you got fired.
No, so I went out on maternity, and I didn't hustle like the whole time I was pregnant.
Did she say that you stole something from the register?
No, so the crew that during the time that I worked there, everybody who worked there during that time, while I was out on maternity, got fired for stealing. It was like a whole situation. And they just would not hire me back because I worked there during that time.
Oh, damn, that's so clap.
I mean, I did steal from them. But it wasn't like a direct thing.
They said, girl, you think you...
So actually, I was about to sit here and lie. I just thought about it. No, you got to free yourself. I just actually thought about it because I wasn't going to lie intentionally, but I was about to be like, oh, I worked Taj Mahal the whole time and I wasn't even hustling. Yes, I was. See, listen, an opportunity came up and I just did what I knew. Somebody else put me down on like a quick little, you know what I mean? Quick little, you know what I mean? But that's in the past, y'all. That's in the past, okay? And I'm not going to tell you how I was stealing it because I'm not doing that.
There's a statute in there. That was years ago. 20-something years ago.
Listen.
23, in fact.
So, and then, just share a little bit about, what you've done and your accomplishments and things that, like, where you are in life in spite of, or despite, I don't know exactly what the right saying is, in spite of, all the trials and tribulations that you had in life, how you persevered.
I mean, I think that along the way, my interests lied in places that weren't where everybody else wanted to be. Like, I didn't want to be outside on the streets. I wanted to be at home, either watching TV or doing, I just stayed in the house, go to school. I enjoyed school. I think that's where it came in, enjoying the environment. But I will say that school was an escape type place for me, but it was a great one. I mean, I feel like you have nowhere else to go get an education, right?
And you definitely was in them activities, latchkey, honey.
Okay. I mean, I think that's also it too, is once I got into high school, being in extracurricular activities, being in leadership positions.
I made sure you had them YMCA boys. What's the other one? The Boys Club?
Boys and Girls Club.
The Boys and Girls Club membership. Yes, honey, listen.
It was me talking to them.
Them 6 a.m. drop-offs.
It was me talking to them in a British accent, telling them I'm from England, and they really fell for it. And
Talk about that. Why did you change your name to Edward? You don't want to talk about it? It's
no.
Okay, we don't.
And I didn't change my name.
All right.
I adopted a middle name.
You brought up the British accent, so I was just going to elaborate.
Oh yes, because that was crazy.
Yeah, why you was doing it?
I feel like at the time I would have been like, because it's funny, but now I look back at it, identity crisis ?
Yeah, I think identity crisis.
But I mean, we do crazy stuff with the kids. But yeah, I told them folks I adopted a British accent, and I told them folks I went to the 2012 Olympics. I don't know why. You know, it's like when you lie, it's like, but also, why would you believe me?
Yo, but do you think you had a problem with lying when you was growing up? And I used to be like, D, when you grow up and you do something important, they're going to see you.
To me, it was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. But like, also, it was a big deal because, I mean, nowadays I don't lie. Because,
no, like super honest.
Yeah, I'm very honest because I have this idea. I don't. And I also have this idea that if you're not honest with people, people cannot make a sound decision for themselves. And I would hate for someone to take away my agency to do that. So don't lie to me and I won't lie to you. Mm-hmm. But if you lie to me, then child, you may get lied to.
Toxic.
And what do parents, they be lying to their kids? So.
We do be lying. We just talked about that the other day. You asked me something and I was like, lies.
Ask me why I'm lying as a kid, because you lying to me.
Lies. I told you the other day, yes. As a child, I definitely did lie.
As an adult?
As an adult, too. Yeah. As a parent, I meant to say. I definitely did. I mean... Yeah,
because you were like...
I'm not going to justify it. We lie. We'd be like, nah, that isn't what it is. And then we'd be so mad at our kids when our kids lie. We'd be like, we really just saw you. And they probably could say, we really just saw your ass, too. Like, lies. No, that wasn't weed. No, that wasn't whatever. That's what we was talking about. Me when I started smoking weed again, and you was asking me a question about that the other day.
You know, one time I found a condom in the couch.
Oh my gosh, this is X-rated.
I said to Miss Brenda, Miss Brenda, what's this? She said, let me see that. She grabbed it.
At least you know your mama was practicing safe sex.
That's not what I was thinking at the time. I don't know what I was thinking at the time.
But that's what a condom's for.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a rubber balloon.
Oh, Miss Brenda told you it was a condom?
No, nobody told me what it was.
Oh, so tell us more about what you got going on.
Okay, what I got going on is
give these people some hope that you can persevere no matter what.
You can have really interesting family dynamics, but you can also go to college for free.
If that's your choice.
If that's your choice, if that's your forte. But I will say that you need to be educated in something. Because no matter what you do in this life, no matter what you want to do, I mean, I think that there are jobs that we use to get by, and then there are jobs we use to be happy. And I mean, if you are using McDonald's to get by, period. Because I would too. You know, I DoorDash. I do my little DoorDash to get by. But I know my career is going to be in law.
Yeah, because you definitely got to make money out here.
Now, if you run into McDonald's and that's your career.
Or if you bought a franchise.
Run into McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. Basically, same thing.
Yeah, basically that. You know, that's period. You know, and I'm sure that is bringing you financial wellness and happiness with that, because that's financial wellness. But I think that you need to be educated in something so that you can share those talents with the world. And that could be anything. You know, for me, yes, I went to go get a degree in chemistry, but, you know, I completely flipped that on its head and was like, you know, I have this political side to me that also enjoys the law and the rule of law and making sure that people are represented equally under the law.
Yes.
And so therefore I pursued law school, and that's where I'm going in the fall. And so I think that also being open to things are not always going to be as what you planned, because I did plan to go be a doctor and think that was how I was going to make my mark on the world. But to be honest, that was just a Grey's Anatomy fantasy. But now I realize that, you know, with my passions and where they align and with the current events of the world, what I'm about to go do is something that is truly remarkable in this time in history. And so I'm really excited to see where...
What you about to do?
I'm going to go be a lawyer.
Yes, you got accepted to law school.
I said that already.
Oh, I thought you just talked about being a doctor.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I said that, but before that, I said I'm going to law school in the fall. But...
we're going to have a lawyer on the team. We're going to have a lawyer on the team.
One thing that, you know, I think to myself often, you know, how did I come to this part? But even though I didn't know what the plan was going to be, something did, because, you know, this is what I think about. In the musical Hamilton, a lot of people like Hamilton.
Yeah.
Angelica, she sings in that one, she says, how lucky we are to be alive right now. And that's because, you know, it's the beginning of the American Revolution. They're about to wage war on England and fight for the freedom of the colonies. And I think that life took me in this direction and fostered me in this way so that, you know,
yes,
I'm lucky to be alive right now because, you know, history is happening. It's happening in our face. But also I'm moving and putting my chess pieces in position to where, you know, you can truly make a mark on history.
So I really wish that we could sit here all day and talk, but we all have things to do outside of podcasting. We have bags to get to and businesses to take care of. I do want to leave y'all on this note that if anybody ever tells you that money does not create happiness, they are lying, because it affords you opportunities to be able to have your mental health dealt with.
Financial wellness is a dimension of wellness.
It is because when you're in poverty or in low-income environments, you are subjected to low-income activities. You are subjected to things like that make you feel depressed. You have mental health issues.
I'm gonna start using that one.
What?
This is a low income activity.
Yeah, low income activities. Like for real,
y'all want to sell drugs? No, that's like a low income activity.
You feel like, I mean, and regardless on wherever all of that stuff originated from, that is a topic for another episode because we are fully aware. However, we have choices to choose to continue to move forward in the path of prosperity, love, joy. Even when the pain comes, you'll be able to afford tools to help you work through it. I do know a lot of families that don't have money, and you can see, especially when we didn't have money at times, we felt it. We are resentful. We have anger issues at that time because we aren't able to do things, and because unfortunately we are in a capitalistic society.
Oh, yes.
So when we talk about on this channel, on this podcast, on our videos about financial wellness and financial literacy, and we bring up things like working at McDonald's or things like this, or what are career jobs, or what are jobs that just, it is to not to judge, it is to press upon you to get up and make something else happen at some point in your future. Because regardless if you make money or not, things are getting expensive. You have to pay for shit, and it will cause you to continue down a bad path.
I want to add this last thing. I hear a lot of people say they want to do this, that, and the third, but they don't do anything to do this, that, and third. Like, I want to go be a music producer, Cool. Or I want to go and do some type of engineering, or do something that requires you to learn a trade or anything like that, but the individuals aren't taking the steps needed to go do that, or even taking something that they're really, really good at, like playing video games or doing whatever they are and turning that into an art form. I mean,
yeah, like, find something you're good at and make money off of it.
Yes, because a lot of people would really appreciate to see those things. Like, you would be surprised at how many people in this world would appreciate your talents, but also you got to make things shake. Like, you can't just say I want to do this and it's just going to happen. The amount of people that happens to in this world is less than 0.0000001%. Like, we all cannot be discovered in the chicken shack serving spicy tenders and fries.
No, you got to put yourself out there. I was talking to a client the other day, and I had told them the only job security for me is the security that I create for myself.
Yes.
Because at any given time, like, for example, you're going to be a lawyer. If you choose to work for a corporation or whatever, and at any given time they downsize, they merge, your position gets, you can still be a lawyer. So it's like, I don't work for corporate. So we were talking about that corporate situations. The only job security that I believe that you have is what you create for yourself. So as an entrepreneur, I highly recommend to take that leap of faith, bet on yourself, get them classes done, stop procrastinating, and believe in yourself. And even if you don't believe in yourself, just get up and do it anyway, because eventually you will believe in yourself. All right, I'm gonna leave on this note. I'm super proud of you, D. I think we had an awesome episode. I'm grateful I didn't cry, but a little bit in the beginning of episode 1. So we got through it. I feel super happy and grateful for where we are in this life, and I love you so much, baby. Are you okay? You gonna cry?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna cry.
You look like you're about to cry.
No, it's because I yawned.
Oh, you tired? I'm sleepy. All right, y'all. We're gonna let y'all go. Be kind to yourself. We are all out here. I would like to believe most of us are out here trying to just figure it out and do the right thing and just make our lives better. And if you're not, like Dee said, get up and fucking shake something, okay? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when any of our awesome episodes come out in the future. And I love you all. Until next time. Bye.